Hello everyone and welcome to Abandoned Legacies. Join me today as I embark on this interesting episode and fascinating look at abandoned cities and ghost towns scattered from around the world, from Centralia, Pennsylvania to Pripyat in Ukraine. I'll be looking at these mysterious histories, the mysterious histories and haunting remnants that have been left behind in these places. Um, so there's like saying Centralia, there's a steam coming out from under the road, and in Pripyat it's been abandoned since Chernobyl. So we'll see what other places are out there in the world. Um, so join me here as always. If you do like the video, hit that like button. If you want to subscribe, please do. I'd appreciate it. Trying to reach 100 subs by the end of the year. Also, um, share and comment, all that good stuff. And thanks for watching. And come on in, let's embark on this weird and interesting and eerie journey together, shall we? I say weird because it's weird that these are still abandoned, or there's not been no action against these cities or whatever, or towns. But a couple I can understand. Some of them I can't. So we'll soon find out. And yeah, let's begin, shall we? Right. So, as I mentioned, Centralia is home to carbon monoxide seeping out of a mine. So there's steam coming out of the basically burning coal is um basically a mysterious fire is ignited under this city or town. And yeah. Forgive me for my speech today. I'm a bit. My confidence is going a bit up and down today. But yeah, it's Centralia. In 1962, a mysterious fire ignited from an unknown cause within the coal deposits here in this Pennsylvania town. I mean, as long as burning coal is exposed to oxygen, it can continue to blaze and emit harmful gases for hundreds of years. Due to the sulfur and carbon monoxide seeping out of this mine, the town of 1,000 residents was evacuated 30 years later in 1992, with only a dozen of people opting to stay in their homes. The story is spooky enough to be one of the scariest urban legends. So yeah, there's been a lot of things with this town. From it's an inspiration for Silent Hill, the video game series, when it wasn't. Even though the film, the director went there for research. And I believe there's like only a dozen people left living in this town now. Could be wrong. But I think I read that there was only a dozen people staying here. Hang on. Columbia County. As of 2020, only 5 residents. No, it was only 5 residents. So only 5 people have opted to stayed here. Rather them than me. Rather them than me. But I bet they didn't want to leave because they had too much pride in their loot, or they just would like, nah, we don't want to leave our stuff and so we don't want to start a fresh and that. This is where we were raised and this is where we'll stay. But it's just crazy that 1,000 residents was evacuated in 1992, and then as of 2020, only 5 are there now. Crazy. Next, we have Pripyat, Ukraine, as I mentioned in my intro. This Ukrainian town, look at it. It was located near the 1986 Chernobyl disaster site, as you can read there. And it's also been an hotspot in this current Ukrainian-Russian war. soaked through with harmful nuclear radiation, Chernobyl was cut off from the rest of the world and left to rot for decades. The nearby town of Pripyat was similarly affected, and all residents had to be evacuated. Some street artists and adventurers now explore the area since the radiation level has dropped, but prolonged stays are still harmful to people's health. These pictures of abandoned car dealerships are sure to give you the chills too. Yeah, look at that. I bet there's some more eerie pictures that you can get of Pripyat on the internet. Look, there's Pripyat on the map. Look, and Chernobyl's right there. Look, that's crazy. Dang, look, that is that is eerie. That is really eerie. I bet it was once hustling and bustling and full of laughter from children and arguments and everything that you get in a day-to-day town and city. I mean, and look at the school. Dang, just yeah, just crazy. How one nuclear radiation spill from a reactor just kills off the city and you know, don't give my eye, and it just kills off any chance of people living there again. Next, we have the island of the dolls, or Isla de las Muñecas, or Muñecas. If I said that right, just let me know. If I say it wrong, let me know. Sorry for butchering it though. But yeah, it translates to Island of the Dolls. This is a place I know very well because it was on Ghost Adventures. Um, Also, I think someone else, another show done it. I could be wrong. I think Ghost Hunters. Ghost Hunters or one of the other ones. Anyways, abandoned cities are creepy, but most of them are nothing. Most of them have nothing on this abandoned island. The Island of the Dolls in Mexico is like something straight out of a horror movie. Located on Tushilo Lake, or Tushalo Lake, it is home to hundreds of raining, slowly decaying dolls, thanks to a man named Don Julian Santana. The story told that Santana found the body of a girl who had drowned in the lake in the 50s and started hanging in the toys to appease the spirit of the girl. In 2001, Santana drowned in the lake himself. According to legend, the dolls are haunted by the spirits of the girl and perhaps even by Santana himself. Crazy, look at it. I won't get a picture of that one up because it's just eerie and creepy. Then we have Okpoland, South Korea. Once one of the continent's most famous amusement parks, Okpoland became a ghost town almost overnight when a cart on a duck themed ride derailed and killed a girl in 1999. It actually wasn't the first fatality to occur here. At least one other person died on the same ride earlier in the 90s, but the park remained open. However, though, after this second death, the owner just vanished and the theme park descended into disrepair. It was slated for demolition in 2011, and the land was earmarked for development. Although apparently nothing has been built there yet, which is probably for the best. That's crazy. Obviously, look at it. Crazy. No, nuts. Um, and we have Tawerga, Libya. It's about war. This story is about war and rebellion. Believed to have aided the Gaddafi regime, the residents of the Libyan town were driven out by resistance forces. Gaddafi was overthrown and killed in 2011, but the former residents were not allowed back to their original homes until recently. In 2021, only around 7,000 of the original 40,000 inhabitants returned, most living in partially repaired homes, basically. Many abandoned homes can be restored, so there is hope for the town yet. Well, I'm glad that's an happy one and that people are slowly starting to move back in there. Then we have the Californian gold mining town of Baldy. Um, the epitome of an old west town. Baldy is one of the oldest ghost towns in America. In its heyday, it housed dozens of saloons and a rough crowd, which is putting it nicely, obviously. Still thriving, about unruly, placed until two fires burned down the mills. After that, business altered and forced people to abandon Baldy, leaving it to the dust and tumbleweeds. It became a state historic park in '62 and still looks like a slice of 19th century American history. That's crazy. I'd love to visit there. But that's got some eerie stories on that, on ghosts probably. Then you have Caholba, Alabama. It was actually Alabama's first state capital, would you believe? Before um, Birmingham. But it was abandoned after just 46 years. Since it's located on the confluence of the Cahoba and Alabama rivers, flooding regularly overtook this town, destroying buildings, destroying buildings, and slowly turning it back into the wilderness. Economic trouble also took its toll. First, as the state legislature was moved to Selma, and later from the Civil War. Today, the abandoned city of Cahuba functions as a historical and archaeological site, and it's one of the oldest historic towns. Crazy. Then you have Pyramiden, Pyramid in Norway, all the way up in the Arctic Circle, lies in an abandoned Soviet town named Pyramiden. Once a mining town, it flourished during the Second World War, as all places did when they were taken over by people, near enough, but eventually collapsed with the rest of the Soviet Union in the 90s. Though more bad luck struck the town when a devastating plane crash occurred close by, killing some of the residents. Coupled with the area's failing and unprofitable coal mines, the town shut down and residents left in 1998. A statue of Lenin still keeps watch over the town, which we bet makes for some really creepy photos. I can imagine. That does make some very interesting photos. There you go. I'll just put a link into the description for you guys if you want to read off of this. Um, then you have this Chinese town. What makes this Chinese ghost town? Um, one of the weirdest on the list. It's an exact replica of France's capital. The city, also known as Little Paris, is built to maintain a population of 10,000, but few have actually lived here. It stands today as an essentially non-functioning oddity that attracts tourists looking for a photo op. Dang. Orador-Seglang, France. The remnants of this French village barely stand today as a reminder of the atrocities carried out by the Nazis during World War II. On the 10th of June 1944, the Germans invaded and killed virtually everyone in sight here. Only ashy rubble and fragments of structures remain today, but the town is purposefully left alone by the French government as a monument to the crimes committed against their civilians. Crazy. In your Portlandia, Brazil. It's abandoned. If this abandoned city sounds like it's a made-up place, that's because it is. In 1928, Henry Ford bought and built the town of Fortlandia in Brazil, hoping to turn it into a workers' paradise and an anchor for the business in South America. Ford carried out widespread deforestation in order to plant rubber trees, but they simply refused to take and suffered with blight. Meanwhile, workers rioted due to a lack of food, and with Henry Ford in ailing health after World War II, the land was then sold back to Brazil, and the town was left to rust in the humidity of the jungle. Dang. Rubber trees didn't take there. Wonder why. Now we have Salisbury Plain in over here, the UK. The area of Salisbury Plain in southwest England encompasses a couple of towns that were used as a military defence, the training zones during World War II. The villagers who once lived here were told to evacuate the area for military use, and no one has been allowed back since. Yeah, Imber is one here. I done an episode on Imber a few episodes back. Go check it out. Also, like I said, if you're enjoying this video, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And share, comment. Now we have Dollersheim, Austria. Most people have never heard of this town, but it's the ancestral home of that Nazi leader's parents. In 1938, after Germany took control of Austria, someone ordered the townspeople to be forcibly evacuated, and the village blown to bits. Why he did so remains a mystery, but some suspect that it was an effort to cover up part of his life story. Okay. Why? I have no idea. He must have hated that part of his life so much. Now we have Six Flags theme park in New Orleans, Louisiana. Hurricane Katrina hit this town, well, it's this big city, the Big Easy, in 2005. Hundreds of thousands of people were displaced from their homes because of the widespread destruction and massive flooding. The protective measures that were in place to keep the lower elevation city from being flooded are broken, and places like Six Flags, New Orleans were completely submerged and left to their fate. Now it remains a creepy abandoned amusement park that is touched only by decay and alligators. Eerily, the sign by the entrance still reads "Closed for storm." That's crazy. That is crazy. Um, then we have Bulloville, Florida. When the Second Seminole War broke out in 1836, the wealthy owner of the Bulow sugar plantation abandoned his land and fled north, along with an enslaved labor force. And then the Seminole Nation raised Bulloville as part of their resistance from their ancestors to being removed from their ancestral land. The ruins of the estate, the mill, and the enslaved people's quarters still remain. It is now a protected area. Crazy. Krakow, Italy. And we have, and then look, there's loads. I'll read a couple more, and then I'll leave the rest for you to go and discover. So let's come down a little bit. Pavelio, obviously. Here we go. Valley of the Mills, Italy. Filled with various flour and sawmills dating back to medieval times, the Val del Melini, or Valley of the Mills, lies in a valley in Sorrento, on Italy's Amalfi coast. The deep valley was formed by volcanic eruption and further carved out by rivers. In 1866, the Piazza Tasso was built, which cut off the valley from the sea, leading to incredibly high humidity and prompting many inhabitants to leave unbearable conditions. New pasta mills were built nearby, and older flour mills became obsolete and were abandoned in the 40s. However, prior to the vid pandemic, there were plans to redevelop the mill, though progress has been halted. I wonder why. Then you have another Californian town, Salton City, Rhyolite, Nevada, a boomtown founded on the back of a gold mine. a centre of gambling and other vices before the big bust and subsequent ghost town status. We've heard this story before, yeah. Many old west towns through the gold rush when they were when it was all over, they basically abandoned it. But wildlife was a little different. First, there's the value of the gold, nearly $500,000 per ton in today's money, which helped the town's population swell to 5,000 people in just 6 months at the turn of the 20th century. By 1907, though, the people of Wildlight enjoyed electric lights, concrete sidewalks, several newspapers, a train station, an opera house, a public swimming pool, and a hospital. But as the mines began to fail, so did the town, obviously. And then by 1920, the population was just 14, and now it's a full on ghost town. Like, damn, they had everything before anyone else did, and then because the gold was dried up and the mines didn't produce them and didn't produce the gold anymore, it turned. Then another mining town in Chile there, another Chinese town, look, Chinese city or village. Then you have United Arab Emirates, Turkey. Look at that. The Montreal Faults, I'll talk about these. I'm going to go into detail about some of the places around here even more. Like around the UK. I've done like some places. This is going to be another one that I'm going to go into depth with at one point. The Montreal Faults. Named after the civil engineer who designed them, Guy Montreal, the Montreal Faults actually have names of their own. Rough Sands, Knock John, Red Sands, and Shivering Sands Faults. The armed naval forts were built in 1942 to defend the UK against enemy aircraft in World War II, but then they were decommissioned later on in the 50s and left to rust in the Thames and Mersey estuaries, southeast of England. In the 60s and 70s, though, the Montreal forts were hijacked by pirates of pirate radio. That is one disc jockey or DJ, Paddy Roy Bates, has lived in Rough Sands since 1964. All the other Montreal forts are abandoned, but they can be visited by boat. And for you who don't know who Paddy Roy Bates is, there he is. Look, he's died now. But yeah, he died in 2012. Look, age 91. It's crazy. So then you have Florida with Fort Moles, Greenland. So yeah, I don't recommend reading this article. It's very interesting. And that, Montana, look, Nambia, Argentina, Azerbaijan, Hong Kong. Look, St. Mary's College, Maryland. Oh, we have to read this one before we go on to something else. Affectionately called Our House by our local students and passing hikers. St. Mary's College in Ilchester, Maryland, was abandoned when a fire engulfed the grounds. St. Mary's moved its facilities to another location nearby, but the ruins of the old buildings still stand, serving as a propagator of urban legends and ghost stories. Some people think St. Mary's is now one of the most haunted places in America. Dang. Cambodia there, see Japan. Yeah, see. So I'd recommend going to read up on these places. There's some very interesting places about, you know. Um then the one in Japan, along with others. Uzbekistan, Romania. crazy. But yeah, I'd recommend going up and going on the internet and reading all this because it's crazy, you know. Mm, crazy though, isn't it? Like, I'm not being resentful. Hang on a minute. So yeah, I'd recommend going and see, sort of looking on internet for these abandoned places. Um, there's like so many that you can't even like begin to explain, you know. But yeah, I'd recommend going to look and yeah, I'm gonna leave it here now. So thank you all for watching. Um, I'll be back on again in about 5-10 minutes. Um, so yeah, I recommend, like I said, going to check it all out. Um, hang on a minute, guys. Sorry about that. But yeah, like I said, I recommend going and see all this. If you've enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Um, also, um, comment, share with your friends and family, whatever you think would be interested in all this. Also, like I said, I'm aiming for 100 subs by the end of the year, so I'd appreciate all the support I can get. Thank you all for watching. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll be back on again in a while. See you later, everyone. Take care. Thank you, and see you later in a bit.